So the big question is this: how do young men like us, who didn't listen to society, who are on our own, how do we grow and improve ourselves so that we can live a better tomorrow? That is a question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is James Radzinski, and welcome to the Ascend Momentum Show. Welcome back, everyone. So, as you can tell, my new microphone cable has not arrived yet. It is supposed to arrive today by 10. So, hopefully tomorrow, if I can set it up and figure it out, I'll be able to have a better mic tomorrow for you guys. And also, tomorrow's my first day of school. And I'm excited because it's going to be my easiest semester yet. It's going to be my easiest year because I'm graduating early. And currently my classes are looking like I've got first through 5th, and then 6, 7, 8 are off. So I'm definitely going to go in and change that because that's unacceptable. Because I got a bunch of unrequired classes that I'm taking. So I only have to take 2 English classes and 1 gym class left to graduate. So I'll be doing first period and second period is English, and then third period is gym, and then fourth period will be lunch, and I'll just leave during lunch, and then the rest of the day I have off. That's what my schedule is going to look like. I tried to go in today, but they didn't let me in because today was the freshman day where all the freshmen go in and figure out their schedules. And I wasn't allowed in because they said the staff was only focusing on the freshmen today. It's completely understandable. So I just followed up on with my counselor and emailed her and told her I'm going in tomorrow. So I want to tell you guys, I have seen some crazy good benefits just from doing this one breathwork exercise with a metal straw. So I have a metal straw, and it's a exercise that helps strengthen your core, and it definitely works. So you get a metal straw. I get one with a bend in it, so it's harder. And the straw is for resistance, increased resistance. So you put the metal straw in your mouth, but you put it towards the tip of your lips, so you have to be precise about where you're breathing in. And then you breathe in through your mouth for 4 or 5 counts. Eventually you want to get longer and longer. Like right now, my record is 8 counts in, but sometimes I can only do 4. I don't know, it's weird. And I've been doing it for 2 weeks maybe. And that exercise helps so much with increasing your core strength. So when you breathe in through the mouth and then through the stomach. So you increase the stomach all the way up, and then once your stomach is full, you finish off through your chest, breathe through the chest. And then once you breathe all that up, then you hold it. You just hold your breath for the same amount of time that you breathed in. So if you breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold for 5 seconds. And then you exhale for the same amount of time, 5 seconds. And then you hold it at the bottom for the same amount of time, 5 seconds. And that's the breathwork exercise, but there's actually one thing that I added to it. So I do the breathe in, I hold it, and then exhale. And then on the hold at the bottom, when you're holding it, the exhale for the 5 seconds, I do a vacuum, which is a bodybuilding thing. It's basically where you pull your gut in, you pull your stomach in, not with your hands, but you just like control your stomach to go in, and then you go. It's hard to explain on a podcast. Just look up how to do a vacuum. And so I do that at the bottom. And at the beginning, I was terrible at vacuums. It hurt, but I kept pushing through and I kept doing it more and more. And now I'm pretty decent at vacuums. And also, my abs are so much better now. I noticed that when I'm doing sit-ups, I do sit-ups at the gym we have this like bench that you can get like an incline or a decline on. So imagine doing the decline bench press, but not doing bench. You do sit-ups. So we have one of those for sit-ups, and I usually hold on to a 45-pound plate while I'm doing it. And before I was only able to do like 8 to 12 reps, but now I can do 16 reps slowly, like slow descent reps. So my core strength has definitely gone up, and it's only been like 2 weeks. Now, I did not see any benefits or results until like today. I'm not even kidding. But there's also one other thing that I have found that it's helped with. And I also, at the end of doing that, I do the breath work in the morning after my 30-minute meditation. So I meditate for like 40 minutes basically, because the breath work, I am meditating still. I have my eyes closed and I focus on the breath. But I also lay on my stomach, like on my mat, because I sleep on a tatami mat. But I lay on my stomach, and it's because my top abs my like physiology is really weird in this sense. My top abs poke out. Like if I'm standing straight up, my top two abs poke out more than my chest. So it's really weird looking. And I've noticed that doing the breath work and laying on my stomach has definitely helped. Hasn't fixed it yet, but it has only been like 2 weeks. But it's definitely helped. And my abs, like, I have good abs, and I've always had like defined abs, but my abs have gotten so much more defined, and they look way better. And they're kind of evening out because one of my abs like is bigger than my top right ab, from my perspective, is bigger than my top left ab, and it's really weird. But they're kind of evening out. So I foresee in the next couple weeks or months that my abs will be way better, even more better. So that is one of the exercises that I learned from this guy that I met. His name is Alex. I met him in the beginning of summer, and he's a bodybuilder, and he is like 30 years old, and he's been lifting since he was like 14 or 13, and he was like the most jacked bodybuilder. He had a video where he was like the most jacked bodybuilder 18-year-old in the world, or at least one of them. And so he's like the real deal, and we like talked to him all summer. And he told me that exercise, and I did it every single day since he taught me that. And then he also taught me another thing, which is balancing on a ball, a medicine ball, and doing like squats on it. So I've been doing that. I'm on like day 6, and I can do 9 squats consistently, or 9 squats in a row. That's my record. And then he also, we were talking to him yesterday. I talked about this on the podcast yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. He taught us another exercise and so I didn't take it lightheartedly, because the last 2 things he taught me, I've been doing it and I've seen amazing benefits. So this exercise that he taught me is a neck exercise, and he said that he wished that he's been doing it since our age, since he was our age. but he didn't add it till recently, I think. And it's basically where you do the bridge. If you know what the bridge is, it's where you like bend your back and you're holding yourself up with your feet and hands. It's like where you lay on your back and then push yourself up with your feet and hands. So your back is bent like a bridge. But instead of pushing yourself up with your hands, you push yourself up with your neck. And you basically just put your 2 feet on the ground bent like you would a bridge. And then you have your arms. I like to rest my arms on my stomach, or rest my hands on my stomach. But in the beginning, I like used my elbows to help support me because my neck was not like strong enough to actually do it on its own. And so you basically just like lift yourself up with your neck, and then you like bend your neck kind of up and down, and that's 1 rep. Or you could just do a static hold. I found that the static hold works just fine in the beginning. And so I just started that literally this morning was my first day. And that's like really what the 3 exercises that I've added to my routine. And also today was the first day that I did my new schedule. So I ate 1 cup of white rice. I cooked 1 cup of white rice, so it turned out to be like more than a cup of cooked. So it was like 600 calories. I added that to my day, so I'm gonna have 600 calories more every day. So I'm getting on a bulk now. And before I was just maintaining. I wasn't really worried about my calories, but I'm getting on a bulk now. And I'm still not going to worry about my calories, but I'm just going to eat the same thing every day. And that same thing is 600 calories more than I was eating before. So I'm definitely going to be increased weight. And also I moved my time that I go to the gym from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the reason for this, he gave me many reasons why I should do it. And it works perfectly because I wake up at 4, do my morning routine, and then at 6 I study until I have to leave for school. And then I eat rice and then go to school. And then I come home, eat, and then go to the gym. And since I'm only going to have 3 periods, I'll be able to do it all, plus do an hour podcasting every day. So it'll work out perfectly. And so the reason why I go to the gym at 1 instead of in the morning is because he said that, and what he said makes sense to me. If you're going to the gym in the morning, you've only gotten 1 meal in you. So you're barely going to have any energy, like any calories in you already, and barely any water also. But if you go in the afternoon, then you'll have all of your meals in you, and then you also will have all of your water in you. Plus in the afternoon, you have more energy, or you'll be able to lift better. So I'm doing that now. And so I'll be gaining a lot more now. I'm fairly confident in that. And before I was doing push-pull legs 7 days a week, just going every single day, unless I needed to take a rest day every once in a while, or I had to do something that I couldn't go to the gym. But now I'm doing legs, pull, push, rest, legs, pull, push. And he said that the reason is because when you hit legs first, I don't remember exactly why, but legs increase test. So you want all of your energy on legs. So you want to rest up 2 days and then just go crazy hard on legs. And I actually agree, because legs is the hardest, so you want all of your energy for it. And then the next day is pull day, because the main difference between the male and the female body is that male has 30% more back muscle. So we should be working our backs a lot more. So that's like second on the priority list, back day, which is pull day for me because I like push pull legs. And then third is chest day, just because it's the least important out of the three. But it's still like valuable. That's why we still hit it. So legs pull push, rest legs pull push. I'm gonna actually have rest days structured into my routine for the first time in a long time. So I've been lifting for a little over 2 years now. I think like basically 2 years at this point. Maybe a little bit more, but my gains recently, once my diet was better and my test was higher, and I feel like my gains are going to be way better now that I'm working in the afternoon, because I never work out in the afternoon. It's always first thing in the morning, like right after I'm done with my morning routine. So I feel like my gains are going to get a lot better, and it's perfect because I've been prioritizing studying over gym now, and so I was going to cut out gym and then only work out at the gym for 3 days a week. But now I can basically do the same thing a little, but except work out a little bit more, 4 to 5 days a week. And then I can also get, I can also have studying first thing in the morning. So I'll like study first. I'm pretty sure studying first thing in the morning is the most optimal. I'll have to look it up, but I study first thing in the morning and I also study at night, like after my podcast. Because right now I'm studying 2 books, which I probably wouldn't suggest, but I just want to read Reality Transurfing and I want to read Expert Secrets, and I don't want to wait. So I just figured I'll read them both. But yeah, that's like basically what I'm doing right now. But I went today for the first time in the afternoon after having like 3 meals, and I will say my strength and power, just everything is so much better. I like it a lot more. I felt like I got a way better workout today than I did before when I was going in the mornings. But I wouldn't have changed it because I'm glad I went in the mornings before, because that was the most convenient time for me, because I didn't have that much energy in the afternoon after school, because many reasons, but one of the biggest ones is that I got out of school at 3:11, but now I'm getting out of school at like 10:30, so I'm going to have a lot more energy in the day. And plus, before I had like low tests, my health was bad. Now I'm pretty sure my testosterone is my testosterone is way higher for sure. And also my health is better. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wasted my whole morning this morning. I still did all my morning routine and I studied, but we didn't go to the park because we were gonna work instead. And so I literally just got on my computer and got distracted. And it's because I didn't know what I was gonna do right away, and I let myself get distracted. And so the solution that I came up with, that I used to do, but then I just stopped for some reason because I developed bad habits. The solution is I'm not going to let myself on my computer Like, I'm not even going to go on my computer until I define the critical task for the day, my mission critical task, the one task that I need to do that day. And I define like the step-by-step outline of how to get it done. So then I can figure it out before and then get on the computer and actually take action. And that second part I actually didn't do before. What I did before was I just defined the critical task and then figured it out on my computer. And then that led to me getting distracted pretty easily. But now I'm going to define it and then I'm going to define the task and then outline a step-by-step thing in my head of exactly what I need to do. So I'll have an outline of what needs to be done. And I think that will help my productivity a lot because I should be doing a lot better, but I'm not. And I've been like procrastinating. I'm a entrepreneur right now. I'm not even gonna lie. The only thing entrepreneurial like that I'm doing is the podcast, but I don't really count that because, I mean, it will count once I start getting a big audience, but right now I don't really have that big of an audience. But I don't really count the podcast because it's just something simple that I do every day. It's just something in my routine. And what really is what I need to be doing is building some funnels for some people. And this morning I actually took action and I signed up for Upwork and I applied for one of the jobs on there. And I'm basically just going to be a funnel builder and build the person an ad campaign and help them develop their product into a new opportunity and create a new movement for them. Just help them market very well, all in general. And so hopefully I get that job. I put my hourly rate as $100 an hour because when I was looking at the hourly rate, I remember I was going to do like $15 an hour or $20 an hour. But I remember I remember seeing a Hamza video a couple of weeks ago, and he told a story about how he was doing coaching where he was literally selling his time for like 1 hour, $1 an hour, $1 an hour. And people weren't really taking it seriously. They were just kind of goofing off on the calls and basically just wasting both of their times. And then he read a book, and on there he said you have to 10x your time, or you have to value your time way more. So he reluctantly, after a lot of emotion going through, being scared of fear, all this stuff, he put his hourly rate at $100 an hour or something like that. And then he posted it on his YouTube channel, and he was expecting a lot of hate, which did come, but people actually joined his calls and took it seriously. And then I also, after I saw that, I read in Russell Brunson's book, Expert Secrets, that you actually have an obligation to charge your customers money, and a lot of money, because people who pay attention. And that was proved in Hamza's story, where when they were paying $1, they did not pay attention and they just didn't take it seriously. But if he was charging them $100, well, that's a higher quality thing. And so it was just the same person, same training, but different price. And the people who paid $100 got way more out of it, and they actually got results. Like, the people who were charged $1 did not get results. They always did not follow through on the plans that Hamza built for them, and they were not consistent. They were not successful at all. but the people who paid $100 were like way more successful, and it's because they invested in themselves. So we actually have a moral responsibility to charge a lot of money. So that's why I put $100 an hour. Also, another reasoning behind it is if everyone else is charging like $20 an hour and I'm charging $100 an hour, well, I stand out. So then I can actually provide a lot more value, and then also he'll take it a lot more seriously and take what I have to say into heart. And I'll be a lot more committed because $100 an hour is no small number for me right now. Like all summer I've been working for maybe like $20 an hour, $30 an hour, which is a lot of money for someone my age, but it's not a lot of money for me because I know my worth and I know I'm worth a lot more than $20 an hour. But most people my age are working like $15, $10 an hour maybe. I don't know. But I'm not like that. I care about how much I make. So I'm charging $100 an hour, and we'll see if I get the job. I hope I do. And I think that I definitely know that I could help them a lot. I know all the strategies. I don't know any of the tactics, though. So I'll have to figure out the tactics on the way. And the strategies is like the how to do something. So like I know a lot of the marketing stuff, like how you should do something, but I don't know the tactics of what to do, like what exactly how to do, like the outline, the plan. I don't know what software to use. I don't know how to use the software, you know. I know how to use ClickFunnels, but I'm not that good at it. And I also don't know how to use ClickFunnels for someone else. So I'll have to figure that out. And I want to follow up on you guys about my first client that I got on, I think it was episode 21 I talked about it, where I got my first client after like a whole week of attempting to get new clients, and it fell through. And it's because, one, to be honest, I'm kind of too lazy to actually build it, which is absolutely terrible on my part. I have to fix that. And two, I texted her and she like read it, but she didn't respond. That was like last Wednesday, and right now it's Monday. So I kind of failed on that part, but I'm seeing it as a success because on the journey to be able to get my first client, like when I was first starting, I could not get a client at all because my comfort zone was way smaller. But after I was like expanding my comfort zone, I was able to go in there confidently and actually talk to her and sell my skills, basically sell my stuff. So I feel like way more confident if I wanted to just go out to another store and try and get a client in person. So that I see it as a success, because on the path to getting my first client, I gained the abilities to get clients. I didn't just spend a week to get a client, and that doesn't mean that I'll spend another week to get another client. It means that now I have the skills to get another client. I gotta get some water. So in my studies today in reality transurfing, I read about going with the flow, and basically is where most people are so in life, here, let me explain this first. The alternatives flow is just a chain link. So imagine like a link of chains of cause and effect. so this event will cause that event, which will cause that event, and then it just goes down. So as you live your life, you go down the link of cause and effect. But it doesn't actually work like that in most people's lives, because the mind likes to reason. So when you come up with a problem, when you come across a problem, your mind likes to reason. So you use your brain to decide the best course of action through logic. So you use logic to decide what is the best course of action through this problem. And most of the time, 99% of the time, it is not the most efficient or energy efficient or optimal way forward. And so as a result, you transfer it to a different chain, a cause and effect chain. And when you transfer, that means that you're on a different path now, a different lifeline. And so nature never wastes energy. Nature always takes the path of least resistance. So if it was up to nature, you would always just go forward in that same chain link. But since you're wasting a lot of energy, you're essentially in a boat, a paper boat. So the chain link, here, let me explain this. The chain link, imagine you're in a stream, like a river. And when you're going downstream, you're just going down the chain link. So imagine you start flailing your arms around. That is what you do when you come across a problem. And so you start flailing your arms around, splashing the water, just wasting a lot of energy, trying to move around, where you could just keep going forward. But so when you do that, you transfer to a different chain link. And the way most people live is they're in a paper boat that gets helplessly pushed across the stream, and they don't really dictate where they're going. They just let life live them, let life pass them by, and they don't really have any vision or decisions. They don't make that much control over their lives, really. So whatever happens to them, they just say, I'll let fate take the wheel. And then the other type of person is in the boat, but they actually have a vision for the future, and they set course to their goals. But instead of going with the flow and letting the flow take them and use most of the energy, take them to their goals, they flail their arms around and try and use a bunch of energy to, when they come up across obstacles and things problems in the road, they flail around and try and swim around, and they come up with complicated solutions to simple problems, and that wastes a lot of energy. They may or may not get to their goals, but they follow the kind of saying that you have to fight for your place under the sun. So those are the two types of people, which is fine. They choose to live that way. That's their choice. But the transurfing type of person, the person that transurfing teaches how to become, is someone who goes with the flow, and they use as little energy as possible to correct course. So they set course towards their goal and then just let the flow of life take them. And then when they come across a problem, they first realize that all problems and obstacles in life are created by the mind. So they figure out where they place too much importance, and then they reduce the importance, and then the problem usually disappears. And then when they have to make a decision, they listen to the rustle in the morning stars, which is basically your subconscious speaking or telling you feelings. And most of the time, like most people do not listen to their subconscious at all because the brain feels that it's more logical and it's always right, which is absolutely wrong. It's absolutely not true, because if it was, then the heights that our civilization would reach would be astronomical. But that's another topic. So, in order to listen to the rustle of the morning stars, you make a decision. So let's say you come across a event where you have to make a decision. Should I buy this shirt or that shirt? Should I go to some decision? Any decision that you make in life. And the way you listen to the rustle of the morning stars is you imagine yourself having made one decision, and then you quiet your mind, you contemplate the emptiness, and you just feel how you feel your inner peace. Like, do you feel inner peace or do you feel inner tension? You'll either feel peaceful or you'll feel like bad. Like you'll have turmoil inside. Or you just won't be able to feel anything, and that just means that you're not good at listening to the heart, and that's fine, because I'm like that right now too. So you just have to get better, and I forgot how to get better. I think it's just practice. I'm just trying to practice more and more, but if you feel inner peace, then you should go forward with that decision. If you feel inner tension, you should choose the other decision. Or don't make a decision at all if the other decision gives you inner tension also. And so going with the flow is basically how you get to your goals, because the story that he told to symbolize this it actually stuck in my mind. So imagine you're in like a circle dome. I'm changing the story up to make it better, or like make it better for me to say because I don't remember the exact story. So imagine you're in a circle, a big circle area, and you're at the outer edge of the circle, and that circle is filled with people, and all on the outer edge is people who are goal determined. They're all trying to get to their goals, and you're one of them. Let's say there's 100 people scattered all the way across this big circle, and in the middle represents your goal. So the dead center is your goal. So everyone's trying to go towards that goal. But on the way to the goal, there are so many people, all needy people trying to ask for help. They want money, or all these problems arise on the way to that center circle, the center of the circle. And the normal person, this is the second type of person I talked to. Remember, the first person just lets the paper boat float down the stream. And the second person tries restlessly and uses a lot of energy to swim downstream. So the second type of person who's trying to get to their goal would always get stopped by the people along the way, and they'd be like, hey, can I have money, or can I have help, I need help, or and then just many different problems arise for them. And this represents the journey towards a goal in life, this whole story. That's that person, and they may make it or they won't, but if they make it, they use so much more energy. They will have used so much more energy than they would have otherwise. So they basically wasted a lot of energy. And that whole that whole, if they make it, all right, so let's say they make it, then that will represent a story for other people who are like-minded and use the same tactics to get there. Just try and push through all of those people. And then all the other people will try and do the same thing. So everyone will end up using a lot of energy. And the people and the problems on the path that need help on the path to the goal, those arise because of importance. You place too much importance, and that's basically excess potential. And so the second type of person, the transurfing person, so let's talk about the transurfing person going towards their goal. So they start at the outer edge, and they just walk towards their goal. They just put one foot forward in front of the other, and then they go with the flow, and an amazing thing happens. No people along the way stop them or interrupt them. Maybe they'll get some people stopping them, say, hey, can I have help? But they realize that this person is different, and they just move along and they focus on other people. So I want you to imagine this scene. There is a big circle with 100 people all across the circumference of the circle, the outer edge. And those are goal-driven people. 99 of them are like normal people, and 99 of them are like the second type of person who tries to swim and uses a lot of energy down the stream. That's 99 of them. One of them is a transurfer, someone who has read, studied, and applied the principles of reality transurfing, that book. Now, they all are going towards a goal, which is in the dead center of the circle. Everyone can get that goal. It's no like limited scarcity. Everyone can get that goal. There's enough for everyone. You just have to choose to get there. And then I want you to add something to that image on the way to the goal. So in between the outer edge and the center is a lot of people, thousands of people. It's kind of like a marketplace. Just lots of people standing there. And those are basically representing problems that arise in your life. So let's start the simulation. Everyone starts moving towards the goal, all 100 people. Let's say 70, let's say all 90, okay, let's say everyone arises with a first problem. That first problem happens because you place too much importance. So then everyone just tries, all 99 of those normal people will try to come up with the most complicated solution to the problem. But the transurfer will listen to the rustle of the morning stars, and they will drop the importance and then remember that this problem was created by the mind. And they will figure out the simplest solution, because nature always takes the path of least resistance. Nature never wastes energy. So the transurfer will figure out the simplest problem, so they get through the problem the same energy used just walking forward, which they would have done anyways. So basically they never experienced a problem. But they did, but it didn't really affect them. Now all 99 other people, let's say 70 of them, get through that first problem. Now they used a lot of energy to get through that first problem. They had to come up with some crazy solutions, because the mind always comes up with the most complicated solutions for the simplest problems. But let's say the 29 or so other people that did not make it through their problem, that first problem, they just gave up, and they gave up on their goal. So now we're down to I don't know the numbers. I'm just going to say, let's say we're down to one transurfer and 70 normal people, normal goal-driven people. All right, so now the transurfer realized that they have to drop their importance. So now that they've dropped their importance, they don't experience any more goals, or they don't experience any more problems along the way. All of the people that are representing as problems just go, they don't bother the transurfer. They move on to the other 70 people. And so the transurfer, the way to get to their goal, they simply just have to put one foot in front of the other and just keep repeating that. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep doing little things all the way until they reach the goal. So they basically reach the goal in the same time that it would take to walk to the goal. It's because they basically did just walk to the goal. They just simply walk to the center of the circle. So if you know what a radius is, it's basically the distance between the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. So they basically just walked on the radius. They just walked there. Now, let's look at the other 70 people. They came across their next goal. Now, they've already used so much energy. So they have to use a lot more energy on the second goal. And let's say only 50 of them make it through that second problem. And now I want you to look at their paths. So the transurfer, their path was straight to the goal. All of the 70 other people, now 50, they're walking sideways, diagonal. They're going all different directions, getting distracted by problems. Now, let's say on problem 3 that arises, 50 of them are left, and then 20 of them fail the problem 3. So now there's 30 of them left. And so they're closer, but their path traveled is not straight towards the goal. They're going right, they're going left, they're cutting turns, they're going a lot all over the place. They're like a lost pencil drawing a scribble, just aimless, because all these problems are distracting them on their way and pulling them off course. Now, let's repeat the simulation until they get closer and closer to the goal. 10 people drop out. 5 more people drop out. Until finally only one normal person out of the 99 other people make it. So only one person that uses normal worldview strategies makes it. So that's a 1% success rate, essentially. And they make it to their goal, and they had to use a lot of energy, and they're going to be happy about making that goal, and then they'll share that story, and everyone else will be inspired and want to do the same thing. So then the cycle will repeat. The new simulation will restart. Another 99 people will batch up. But let's talk about this. The transurfer had a 100% success rate. Now let's make another simulation. 50 transurfers, 50 normal people. Let's say one person makes it, which is a 2% success rate. One normal person makes it, which is lucky for 50 people. These aren't actual numbers, I'm making them up, but I'm just representing how bad the general worldview is compared to transurfing. All right, so there's 50 normal people, 50 transurfers. Let's say one of the normal people actually makes it to the goal after lots of energy wasted. And it took a lot longer too. Now, guess how many transurfers make it? All 50. And it's because they just know how to make it to their goals as simply and quickly and most efficiently possible. You just have to go with the flow. Because the world takes care of us. But all of the goal-driven people don't think that. They think they have to fight for their place in the sun. So they do, because you get what you choose. They chose to fight for their place in the sun. And the transurfers just chose to go out and get it. No, nothing special about it. And so that's how important, like that's how valuable transurfing is, because that's why I'm just going to constantly study it, because that's really how you get to your goals, by learning all the transurfing principles and applying them. because I want to be that transurfer. I don't want to be the normal person. I will, like, if before I read transurfing, I was going to be the normal person, and I may have made it. I may have been the one that made it. Who knows? I probably wouldn't have been, because that's low odds, and having wasted a lot of energy, I would have given up. But using transurfing, I'm going to get my goals with the least resistance possible. And really, the way you do it, all of those people along the way, all the problems that arise, they represent pendulums. And pendulums grip onto you, onto your importance. But if you don't have importance, if you're empty to them, then they have nothing to hold on to. So they just die. So essentially, the transurfer, all of the people just stop. All their energy around them, all the problems just stop. Like, they just cease to exist. They just slow down. If you know what a pendulum is, it's like a string with something attached to it that, like, sways back and forth. That's what a pendulum is in real life. But in real life, there's also pendulums. It's the concept of basically problems. And also, like, school is a pendulum. So you and I are a pendulum. This podcast is a pendulum. I still don't completely understand the concept, but I can give you vague definitions. And all pendulums are out for their own good. They don't worry about their adherents. And adherents are people whose thought waves are their thought energy is attuned to the same frequency as a pendulum. And when that happens, the pendulum swings higher and higher. And you're basically feeding the pendulum some energy. And it's feeding off of your energy. So you're reducing your energy. But let's say that pendulum tries to grip onto you, but you don't have importance. So it can't grip onto you. So then the sway slows to a stop. And when the pendulum happens, so let's say you stub your toe. That's a pendulum trying to get to you. And you react negatively. They got to you because you had too much importance. But let's say you just don't react. You slow their sway. But there's another way you can kill a pendulum. And for example, you stub your toe, you laugh, you get super excited. That is an inappropriate response to that. Because no one does that. The pendulum wasn't expecting that. And the pendulum will be defeated simply by the fact that you reacted inappropriately. And one of the stories that he told in the book is he was with his friend. Or no, there was a story. I'm not going to tell that one. I'm going to tell this one. There was a smaller dude who was in a situation where a gang, like a real gang, he was in the gang house and they like brought him there unwillfully. So he was forced to go there in front of the gang leader. And so the person was like, oh man, this is a bad situation. So he couldn't just get out of it by staying indifferent. Because if he didn't react, they still would have beat him up. But he reacted inappropriately. Instead of being scared and all that, he like ran straight to the gang leader, grabbed him by his ear, and said, do you want me to break your jaw first or rip off your ear first? And so the gang leader got super scared, and he basically defeated the pendulum because all of the gang members were super scared after that, and then he was let go because they didn't want to deal with his trouble. So he defeated the pendulum, and the pendulum let him go. So that's basically the power of that. And pendulums aren't just like big things, like big dangerous things like games. It's also like the school. For example, school is a pendulum. And it's also valuable things too, like the gym. The gym is pendulum. Everything is pendulum basically. And all pendulums are destructive, all pendulums don't care about its adherence, but you just have to find your pendulums, and you have to decide how much you want them to, how deep you want them to, how deep you will let them into you. So, for example, for me, I don't like you can't avoid pendulums. It's a waste of energy to try and avoid pendulums, and it goes against like nature too. So that's why you have to find your pendulum. So, for example, for me, the gym is my pendulum. But I still stay indifferent to it, but I use it. I use it to my advantage. And then if it pulls me in too much, I just don't let that happen. Like, I don't go all day to the gym. I don't find the gym extremely important. You have to release your importance towards the gym. And so you basically just have to find your own pendulums. I'm really excited to get my new mic tomorrow. I'm going to have to figure out how to set that up after school. I might have to go to bed late tomorrow. I'm trying not to, though. I'll have to go to the gym quick, eat quick, get out of school quick, do all that. But I'm actually really excited for the new school year because I will have a lot more time, and I'll use it on studying and working on my podcasts, and then on the weekends I'll work on business stuff. But I only have 3 periods. Like my whole entire high school career, I always had 8 periods. So I always went to school at 8 and then got out at like 3:11. Except for freshman year, because freshman year was weird because we were on COVID. It was on Zoom. And last year, first semester, I had 1 early dismissal, and that was like the best thing ever. So now I'm having literally the entire day off. I just have 3 periods. I have 5 periods off. So that's going to be awesome. I'm going to get so much progress. I'm going to grow so much. I'm going to learn so much. I'm also excited for Russell's new book to come to me, The Linchpin, which is he was using that funnel to upsell into Funnel Hacking Live. And I'm reading his Expert Secrets book, and he said that you use an information product to give someone enough knowledge to move them up your value ladder. So he's using that linchpin book to give me enough knowledge to prepare me for Funnel Hacking Live, because Funnel Hacking Live is the next step on his value ladder. It's the upsell of that funnel. And since I'm already going and I bought the book, I'm definitely going to study it before Funnel Hacking Live so I can be prepared. That'll be huge. I'll have very good background knowledge, and then I'll be able to learn from him himself in person. So it'll just deepen my understanding and everything like that. I could get some water. Yeah, this episode was really good, I think, because I usually, for the past couple episodes, I've been having my computer on, but today I just sat down and recorded my episode before I even turned my computer on. And that helps with my focus a lot. I'm not sure if you guys could tell. I'm sure you guys can, because over the past couple episodes, I was extremely, scattered. And I was literally, surfing the web on, episode 23 or something like that, where I said everyone has off days. And I used that as an excuse. No, there's no excuse. That was just a very terrible episode. But I'm keeping it out there because I want you guys to see that even I suck. Everyone sucks. And I mean, I still feel like, even though I'm speaking very confidently on my podcast, I go throughout the day just like everyone else. It's like problems arise, all of these. I'm not good at following the transurfing, but I'm getting better and better every day, and that's all that matters. To wrap things up, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, make sure to remember the Eagles.